The library has a waypoint with Siosa, who is the quest giver for the library quest. And then there's going to be some sort of lever against a wall, normally to the north, that is going to lead to the second part where you have to go find the pages, the quest that Siosa gives us. Here's the area leading to Siosa. Here is the waypoint. There's Siosa. Now we're going to go find the pages, and it's typically going to be on a northern rack of a wall. You'll see a lever. Well, I've cleared this place sometimes fully and just gotten lost. Another 4-link. Don't need that though. Oh, I think we got a ghost going in our essence. Yeah, we do. Maybe it'll yield some loot. It didn't. Oh boy, I'm getting fucked here. I'm getting royally fucked on this lever. Oh, I found it. Always complain. Complaining always yields results. There's the archives. Let's go find our 4 pages. There is a boss in here, although it's kind of a non-issue boss. They just throw books at us. I kind of want this ring from this combatant. It's just slightly better than our existing sapphire. So we're going to grab that. It's our first gem cutter's prison. Those are used to improve the quality on skill gems. We're just going to hold off on that for a really long time because it's very possible we just drop a level, you know, a low-level storm burst that has high quality, in which case we're just going to level that back up from scratch. It's not super important early on. 1 quality is kind of nothing. You can typically add large amounts of quality through lab. The lab font at the end of the reward will let you actually do some quality to active skill gems, so that'll be a way of getting some early quality on stuff that's important. For example, Stormburst quality is seconds to base duration, which in turn yields large amounts of damage, so for us it is important, but not too important at the moment. Oh, there's Book Guy. There he is, Trinian Intellectus Prime. He's kind of a pushover. Here's our 4th and final page. Now we can hand the quest to Siosa and just loop through the waypoint that we grabbed earlier to make it really easy to hand this quest in and get ourselves a juicy little reward here. So, we have options to... there's a lot of supports here. A lot of supports in general. Some of them are going to be prevalent. In general, we're going to be running Spell Totem, Fizz to Lightning, or something similar, maybe like Lightning Pen. And then we're going to be running Storm Burst, increased duration, or maybe Lightning Pen in that spot and keep Fizz. Then I'm going to do Crit Strikes, Crit Damage, but Lightning Pen is the one we'll probably be using at some point, so we'll take that. But for now, I definitely want to purchase this increased duration support for a chance and slap that on there. And I think while I'm here, I'm just going to grab a Life Tap, and we're going to pop that on our Frostblink, because I don't want to ever be in a situation after picking up Mind Over Matter, which we're going to be pathing differently and moving some stuff around. If I were to be hit by a wallop of a fucking hit and have no mana and want to move, I don't want to not be able to move because of Frostblink. So, through all that loop of logic, we're going to be grabbing that. Now, there are some blessings we can grab, but we can't use an Eternal Blessing just yet, although we can use Arrogance if we wanted to put our Vitality on our life pool, but it's just not that important at the exact moment. So for right now, there's nothing more to grab totem-wise. There's nothing more to grab in general. We are just good to go, basically, till Act 4 for my stuff. And I have the duration, which does make the damage go up on that. Now we're going to head back to Ebony Barracks, go kill Gravicius, and then we're going to finish up that section, and then do the right side, and then finish up Act 3. But we also have to run lab, so it's a lot to do still. Alright, here is General Grav. He does mostly fire damage, but we have capped all res and also have, you know, ailment immunity, so I'm not super worried about the damage here. 1200 life, tons of life regen. We're built for hardcore. Alright, down he goes. I can talk to Maramoa for a reward. Some rare boots. 67 life, 6 fire is 10 movement speed. Yeah, I'll take that. Ooh, we got a unique action there. Some destructive play, I believe. Now, you would want to go over there and loot that, but I want to wait till this guy's dead, because I'm pretty sure he detonates corpses, and I want to stand on the rare and then detonate a corpse and I'm dead. Alright, he's dead. It seems safe. Let's go get my wakes. Those are pretty cool. They don't do anything for me, but they're decent boots. They're going to be Alk Shards for me. That's something. Alright, we do have to watch out for a little big boy over here. Mr. Cole, who's just Brutus's brother. Cole. He's quite weak, though, and I do okay-ish damage at the moment, so it's feeling pretty fine. Lunaris Temple, level 2. This place leads, it's a very big instance, but it leads to Piety, which will get us an extra passive point. We're just going to grab Mind Over Matter. It doesn't really make any difference at the moment because our life mana pool is quite low because we don't have our aura set up. But I'm going to be swapping stuff from the left to the right here. And when I do that, I want to have just Mind Over Matter. It's just better to grab early on when my mana cost is already so low and I'm basically, it's just free. Just free a little bit of life. So when I get hit now, 40% of it gets eaten out of my mana pool before it gets eaten out of my life pool. Ooh, a Val Side Zone with Poison on hit. I'm not too worried about poison because I have a lot of life regen, so I think I'm okay with doing this. Here's the little Blade Saw boss. And he has an amount of corrupting blood he puts on you, but that doesn't, it's just such a small amount, and he's also so weak at this stage, it's fine. We have gotten, oh, there's some gloves, and that's it, a Val Molten Shell and a Val Venom Gyre. Gloves that do nothing. Alright, cool. Yeah, we're up to the upper level of Lunaris Temple 2. It's still Lunaris Temple 2, but it is just the upper level. Working ever so closer towards Piety here. A little rare amulet. What do we got here? It's terrible. Alright, time to fight Piety. I actually might level up either from this fight or in the middle of it. But, yeah, it's just a matter of killing the portals and then fighting the boss, but I don't think it's going to be difficult either way. Just keep placing totems wherever she teleports to and stay out of bullshit. If she changes forms, she changes forms. It's not a big deal. Single target actually looks pretty good when the totems are kind of just busting, ramping up on her. They get a little bit distracted at times, you know. It's in their nature to get distracted, seemingly. But overall, it's pretty good. I think she's about to die. And there she goes. Okay. A Shadow Scepter. Interested in that. +1 fire, unfortunate. But I can replace my is that better? Life? Cold, fire, more mana. No sockets though. Grigor, thank you my friend for the passive skill point. And Maramoa, which she does offer a fun amount of things here. The main one we're taking actually is Shockwave Totem, which we're not even taking because we're using it now. We're just taking it in general. We will maybe be using Shockwave, but to use Shockwave really, we would have to have a couple uniques drop that are probably not going to drop at this stage of the game, but yeah, it's something that you could definitely do. We would just need to get an Astral Projector and then probably an Empire's Grasp, but mostly an Astral Projector. I want to attempt to make a new wand. We definitely could. We could grab this Sage wand right here, and I could toss on... None of these essences are good. We could just toss an Alcon and pray. And that actually could not have been any better. We had +1 lightning skills. That'd be a huge damage boost. 281 to 431. Oh my god. That's such an increase. Frostblink moving over here with life. And then we could slap this new helmet on. That is massive damage increase there. So... can't complain at all. Heading back to the Imperial Gardens, we have 2 quests to finish doing in this area. One is the Plum, and the other is the Lab Trial. They're just kind of going to be in the north, east, and west. It's a bit of a hodgepodge, so we'll have to wander around a little bit. Our damage has definitely gone up since the little upgrades we've gotten. You could see it and feel it and smell it. It's going to be even better once we get our lab. Here is the Plum, I believe has the Conquer Worm somewhere nearby. I think he's underground at the moment. Nope, there he is. And here's our lab trial. Perfect. There's also a little crafting recipe I want to grab here before I forget. I gotta hand this Plum in. So the Plum goes back to the docks and to Fairgrave, I believe. Yeah, he gets a rare ring. We'll take a coral ring. Kind of mediocre. Alright, thank you, friend. Okay, so we are at the Scepter of God area, but we want to go do lab. Lab is the most important thing for us now, so we are going to go do lab. We have our res really nice. We have our, we're corrupting blood on my flask. We've got a ton of life regen. We've got Mind Over Matter. We've got some damage. We don't have a Merc, which we don't want. I feel pretty fucking lab ready, so we are going to go do our normal labyrinth. Labyrinth, if you have no clue what it is what you use to ascend, but also access the font to augment your gems in a variety of ways. We are going to be mainly here to ascend, but also while we're at the font, if we see an option that tickles our fancy, we'll utilize it, but it's most likely going to be adding a very small amount of quality to our Stormburst totems. Labyrinth does change every day. There's a series of rooms and things you could do in here, but mostly it's a matter of not fucking dying. You've infinite attempts at normal, cruel, and merciless lab, but Uber lab requires an entry key. You can check the location to see where you're going, and Aspirant's Trials are the little breakpoints before the boss. You have to fight Azaru himself, the boss of Labyrinth, 3 times. Each time you fight him during the fight, it augments his abilities in a slight way. You could basically ignore the mechanics to make the fight harder and get some sort of benefit at the end, but it more depends on just your vibe. This one's the gargoyles. I could kill the gargoyles as they come out, and by doing so, fucking wand. By doing so, I'll give myself a little bit of an easier time at the end, but I won't get an extra key for the chest. It really doesn't matter too much, so I typically just, on my first run, especially in hardcore, do easy modes on all the labs. But if I were to push him 30% down, it would phase him, and then that would be that. Sword and Board is actually one of the easier ones. You just have to watch out for the large lacerate, and then once that, he gets 30% down, and then this phase is over. His health bar will change colors, denoting you've done enough. There you go. And he'll eventually phase out. What's this little wand, though? Spell damage, fizz to cold. It's not bad. 431, 475. That's an upgrade. I see there's a left and a right path. We're going to take the right path here, utilizing all the skills we learned from doing our lab trials to not die. Now I know that there is a Dark Shrine here, which is a beneficial buff. Just like when you pop the Chemist box, you can see it off screen and there's a switch hidden in the wall. Dark Shrines are going to offer a variety of different little boons. Some of the nicer ones for clearing it are half damage taken from traps, no traps in the final room, or just a permanent shrine. In this case, we got a brutal shrine, which means we have not just innate damage increase, but also knockback, which is going to make things freak out from Stormburst totems. Here's the next Aspirant's Trial. This is going to be the buff from clicking these little goddesses. So these are the ones I believe you click. Yeah, and they remove his buffs. He's going to have one of each elemental buff. These we could kind of just ignore. A large part of their spookness is applying status effects, which we can't have because we have Purity of Elements on. We just stay near the boss and make sure we don't get hit, and then that's that. Okay, going right, and then going up, and we should be out. There's a new 4-link. We'll take that. It's actually a 5-socket. If it would have dropped 5-link, I would have fucking shit myself. That would have been insane. It rolled pretty damn good. That's legally just an upgrade. That's kind of crazy, though. Man, if that thing would have been 5-link, that would have been nuts. This should be aspirants. Yep, here we are. Swap our gems over to this strictly better chest. It actually res caps us too, which is crazy. 1, 2. We get to run around in circles. Alright, Azaru down. No uniques. We have 1, 2 keys. Any rares to keep? A belt, a scepter. The helmet. Let's check for some good rares. Nope. First things first, let's ascend. We are becoming a Hierophant. And as a Hierophant, we're going to grab a couple fun nodes. We have some totem-specific nodes. This one's an obviously powerful one. Increased totem duration, placement speed, and +1 number of max totems. Huge. Following that, you end up getting more life regen, mana regen, more damage per totem. Then we're going to grab one that gives us these +4 minimum endurance power charges. And then one that gives us Arcane Surge. We're just going to take an extra totem for now because that is just so strong. And it's really quality of life with the totem placement speed and duration. They're placed so fast now that we can just be like, doot. And then there's just a pile of totems out. So, 2 keys. Let's hit this and this. Anything from the keys. An iron ring. And it rolled shit. Now, here's the font. We have been given 2 options, +3 gem quality or transform a skill gem into a random one. We're not using a transfigured gem, so we're just going to give quality. And we're going to take our Stormburst and give it a little bit of quality. Congrats, you 3%. And that's it. We are now substantially stronger. And off to kill Dominus and finish up Act 3. You thought 2 Stormburst totems was great. How about 3 Stormburst totems? Yum, 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 yum. We now leave this just like trail awake in our destruction, you know, where we can walk around and just be placing totem every couple seconds. This is like the fun playstyle of totems you get to in mapping, where it's just a matter of you just get to tap right click every couple seconds and be like just huge amounts of, like a snake behind you, of damage. I want that scour, baby. 1, 2, 3. Alright, let's see how 3 totems fares against this Reverend. He's getting wrecked. Yeah, 3 totems is huge. We do get one of our nicer supports coming up soon, which is multi-totem, which is a really big chunk of quality of life. Scepter of God is just climbing up stair after stair after stair of these floors. And there's like 5 of them, and then we're at Dominus. Whoa, 84 life, 23 cold res. Unres caps me a little bit, but that's so much life. I'll take it. I can craft on gear. I haven't yet, but I can craft on gear. And any piece of gear like that, where it's 80 life, just like double res, because there's room for resistance there, is perfectly fine. You just run those in every slot or until maps, and you'll be okay. All right, one more point, and then we can connect this over and move some stuff around, and we'll get actually a pretty big chunk of power from that. I'm going to be changing my routing on my tree, you know, as this progresses in general, because I've got a really strong overarching idea of what I want to do, but sometimes how I go about it specifically might change a little bit, since it's like we're, you know, going through this kind of fluidly. Like, I know I'm playing totems. Pretty sure I'm going to stick with Stormburst, but if we get stuff that I could transition onto something like a Shockwave, I'd love to do that. It's just more of going with the flow. But the overarching, I think, idea of Mind Over Matter, Hierophant totems, that sort of thing, probably going to stay. All right, we're at the top now. We have to do a couple waves of enemies here. We've got 3 little meme dudes, and then we got 3 little other meme dudes. Then we get to fight a big boss. It has 2 phases, so it's actually 8 bosses in a row. I'm trying to see if one cast of Stormburst Totem now can kill everything. It can. But I think it's because I have enough duration on my Stormburst Totems from the Hierophant thing that they last 20 seconds. That's a long time. 20 seconds is a long time. They're pretty comfy now. My damage is looking pretty good. Alright, here's Dominus, the boss of Act 3 himself. This is his Phase 1 Templar part. You can see his life is just dunking, man. We're just having huge chunks of damage here. Consistent. Let's count our totems a second time. That should be enough. Maybe, I mean, honestly, 1 might have been, obviously been enough, but this feels 2's good. But as he goes down here, we get Phase 2, which is the blood dude. So he becomes a pile of shit, and then out of that pile of shit germinates larger shit. Omega turd, if you will. Little Guadalupe is almost in Act 4. Here's my 3 totems. Now I get to sit here bursting. Bursting and busting. I will get stacks of corrupting blood, but I could just push my Quicksilver Flask and knock them off if I need to. He's at half life, so I'll recast my totems. Really, we're just so tanky. There's just nothing going on here at this stage of the game anymore. Oh, okay. Interesting. A unique Sapphire Ring. It's interesting because there's 3 I could be getting. Dream Frags would be the best, I would say. That's Tesalios. Alright, Tesalios is fine. It's an okay ring. It doesn't really help us too much at the moment. It doesn't really do much for us. It actually technically would probably give us a nice chunk of damage, 546 to 570, and a mount. But that's just gonna get vendored off. Unfortunate it didn't hit, but you know, that's okay. The other one, Dream Frags, would be a lot better, and we would probably then be able to drop Purity of Elements, because the main thing we're spooked against is being frozen. But we're into Act 4. Little Guadalupe Barnett is on the move.